ever have approved money again before we take the thing out of the hands of government.
Yo! Today is September 19th, 2022. Welcome to Simply Bitcoin Live. We are your number one source for the peaceful Bitcoin revolution. We cover the breaking news, culture, memetic warfare, and we will show you why only Bitcoin can give you true financial sovereignty. And when we say that, we obviously mean freedom. So today we have a very special show. It is Monday after all, right? There has to be some good news on Monday. But we're going to cover more of a lot of the reports that were released last week by the White House. We could not get through them all, and how potentially some can affect Lightning. We're also going to talk about where the majority of Lightning nodes, where they're hosted, and could that potentially make Lightning vulnerable to government regulation, whatnot. And there's no better person to talk about this with than the man, the myth, the legend. He was originally with Opti and Bitcoin Kindergarten, the original Bitcoin Kindergarten crew, Nick Can't Mine, Justifer, and Opti. Justifer now is the founder of a Lightning company called Amboss. How you doing, Justifer?
Doing great. Thanks so much for having me.
Happy to have you on the show, brother. Long time no see. And of course, my legendary co-host. He's always optimistic. Optimus Fields, how you doing, brother?
Well, I am doing good, Nico. Justifer, what's up? But man, I think
I
think the big news is Nico, you're going through that hurricane right now, dude. So good to have you. We were worried whether or not we'd get the show going, but man, we're here. The signal don't stop, and we're going to be covering all the lightning FUD. So this is going to be a fun episode, man. I'm excited for this one.
That's right. The signal doesn't stop. Simply Bitcoin goes live even during a hurricane. We got a generator kicking in. Hopefully the fuel lasts. But let's see. Anyways, let's start the show. Let's do this. Number time. Brought to you by NODL. At this point, you should be running your own Bitcoin node. If you don't use your own Bitcoin node, you're trusting someone else's. Run your own version of Bitcoin Core, the Lightning Network, Whirlpool, and Dojo, all from the comfort of your own home. And if you're a digital nomad, you have absolutely no excuse, because now you can run a NODL through a virtual private server. Visit nodl.eu today. At the time of recording, the Bitcoin price is $19,178. Bitcoin is under 20K. You know what that means. Pause the show right now. Stop it. If you're on Twitter Spaces, you don't have to stop it. Just open favorite stacking app. We recommend Swan Bitcoin. Buy yourself some Bitcoin. Buy yourself some cheap sats. Anyways, sats per dollar, also known as Moscow time, 5,214. Block height, 754,820. Reachable Bitcoin nodes, 14,448. Blocks of the halvening, 85,180. Halving estimate, April 22nd, 2024. Total Lightning network capacity. I know this makes Justifer happy. 4,791 Bitcoin. Almost at 5,000 Bitcoin. Let's effing go. Capacity value, 91 million US dollars. Realize monetary inflation, taking the US dollar absolutely to school. 1.78%. Market capitalization, $367 billion with a B. Bitcoin is still a baby. Anyways, I wanted to react to this video that came out. Marty Bent did a great job doing a little bit of commentary. Every kleptocrat and grubby politician fleecing the public with this line should be forced to resign. And of course, he's talking about this crazy 60 minutes interview that Joe Biden did last night. And take a look at his comments about inflation. And before I play it, I want to preface this, guys. Inflation is 100% caused by the government printing too much money. They add more money to the monetary supply, and that makes you poor. And when you call them out on it, when you call out supposedly the most powerful man in the free world, and you want to see what his response is, it's absolutely disgusting. The question that I have for you, Anon, is Why do these people feel entitled to your work and your energy? I'm not talking about taxes. Taxes is a whole other thing. Taxes are at least transparent. They're at least on top, right? You could say they're not fair. You can make good arguments against that, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the hidden tax of inflation, and it should be making you ask a very important question. Why am I being forced to earn and save in the money that is designed to lose value? That is the most important question at hand. And we're going to talk a little bit about the report from the White House in a bit during the news section. And they had the gall to name it the future of money. Anyways, let's check out the video. Let's see what Joe Biden has to say. They got that so much that they passed a bill called the Inflation Reduction Act that, you know what it did? It printed more money. They're spending more money. They're also sending billions of dollars to Ukraine. How do you get that when you continue to print more money and that devalues everybody else's? And now the other comment, it slowed down. No. Inflation compounds. Just because the number goes from 8.9% to 8.9 to 8.3 doesn't mean that all that means is that the value of your purchasing power continues to go down. Continues to go down, but in a much slower fashion. That's all it means. You're still losing purchasing power. It's just losing purchasing power slightly slower. And that compounds over time. Even if inflation comes back down to the goal of 2%, that doesn't mean that prices are going to go back to where they were before. That just means that prices aren't going to go higher as fast anymore. This is political money. This is what you have to deal with when you're dealing with fiat currencies. It's an absolute joke. Opt out into Bitcoin, something that can't be debased and something that can't be easily confiscated. It's an absolute clown show. This is Clown World. We're here. Anyways, Justice, what are your thoughts, brother?
Man, like the come on man should really be turned around on Mr. Joe Biden, because it was a bit insulting. It really denied people's true experience of this. People are honestly trying to disrupt society. So I would really like to see a bit more humility for like recognizing where we're at.
Yeah, but why would they? They're going to get paid regardless. This is why they don't care, right? They have a money printer. Why would they care? This doesn't affect them, right? Opti, what are your thoughts, brother?
Well, I'm going to kind of just echo what Jesper said. Like, it's amazing to see the POTUS try to like do his PR spin and make it seem like, oh, inflation isn't as bad. And it's like you said, Nico, like inflation compounds on itself and you guys are getting robbed out there. And for them to try to spin this and like, oh, it's not that bad. Like, come on, man. Like, it's only an inch, bro. Relax. Like, I am waiting for the it's only an inch, bro. Relax memes, because this is just absolute ridiculous. We've been saying it for a while and we've been trying to counter the FUD for months now about the gaslighting and the PR spin from legacy media telling you that we aren't in a recession, that inflation isn't bad, bro. And this is just why we're a Bitcoiner. Like, this is why we're a Bitcoin show, and this is why we tell you guys every single day to opt out with Bitcoin, take self-custody of your Bitcoin, fight debasement by using the tools at hand, which is Bitcoin. Like, opt out of the madness, and this stuff doesn't really affect you. And then you go live your life, spread the sound money gospel, and realize that we are here to pull people out of the matrix and wake them up. It's a dirty job, but someone has to do it because they are lying to your face, and they are telling you to not believe your eyes and your ears, and not, like Christopher said, not believe the experiences that you are feeling for yourself. Like, the brainwashing out there is on full like highest levels ever. And like I've been anti-political guy for a long time, but now that I watch this stuff, it's absolutely amazing that people still fall for these narratives from legacy media. And it's just like simple economics shows you that you are being robbed and inflation is theft. And for them to try to spin this any other way is asinine, in my opinion. So use the tools, make sure people know the tools are available, and we can opt out of this madness.
Amen to that. And another comment, right? Don't fall into the political trap. okay? Because both political parties specialize in dividing and conquering. So while you're blaming the Republicans or while you're blaming the Democrats, both parties are doing the same thing. They're printing money of which steals from you. You want to change the system. The most powerful vote you can ever make is buying, earning, mining Bitcoin, and taking that Bitcoin into self-custody. Starve the system. That's how we effectuate change. Anyways, let's get to the news.
The Daily News.
Brought to you by CryptoCloaks.com. They make the best 3D printed Bitcoin merch in the game. From custom node cases to key rings to the famous 3D printed Bitcoin grenade toy. Comes in any custom color your heart desires. You want it in gold, they make it in gold, but only on CryptoCloaks.com. All right, everybody. So I'm going to tie this in with Lightning. We're going to take advantage of the fact that we have a Lightning guru on the show. We have Justifer. But first, this is a continuation of what we've been reporting the last couple of days. And just a reminder, the White House on Friday or last week, they declared war on Bitcoin. They made it so, and we covered this on Saturday's episode. They made it so that, hey, Bitcoin mining is allowed as long as it meets these crazy standards that no other industry is forced to adhere by. So they're basically trying to stamp out the competition through regulation. And at the same time, they're proposing central bank digital currencies. They mentioned none of the cons. They mentioned the fact that central bank digital currencies is going to give governments amounts of control over their people that we've never seen before in human history. It would give any totalitarian that you'd ever think in history a wet dream, thinking that they could control their people this much. They never mentioned any of the cons. And they pitched it like this is the end-all be-all. And the research that they used for this was also bullshit. Now, today I want to cover the U.S. Department of Treasury report. And the name of the report, which I find absolutely hilarious, is called The Future of Money and Payments. Nowhere in this report is Bitcoin mentioned. What they did mention, however, is stablecoins, central bank digital currencies, and the legacy system. But they did mention a lot of the problems that the legacy system has, whether that's remittances, whether that's instantaneous payments, all of these things of which Bitcoin solves. But the reason they can't propose them, and this is the idea that I've been trying to hammer into your guys' heads over the last 3 days, is because Bitcoin disintermediates them. It takes away their power to control you. Because remember, at the end of the day, it's peer-to-peer versus the old system, which is person to a third party, intermediary, like they say, and then to another person. What the government does, because there's only a handful of intermediaries, is that they capture those intermediaries and they force them to become third arms of the government, right? And in the banks, we have the famous compliance department in the back room that no one, that you don't hear from, right? And what's that famous saying, right? Your money in a bank is a 2 of 3 multi-sig, of which you have one key, the government has another key, and the bank has another key. Anyways, so this is called The Future of Money. We don't have time to go through a lot of it, but I did take some screenshots of some interesting passages that I would love to talk to you guys about. First one says, money serves 3 core functions: a unit of account, a medium of exchange, and a store of value. It could be public money, primary, a liability of the central bank, or private money, a liability of a private intermediary. Payment systems transfer money. Customers and businesses use retail payment systems for transactions that typically involve smaller dollar amounts. Banks and other financial institutions use wholesale payment systems that generally involve larger dollar amounts. I don't know about you guys. Maybe I didn't read that correctly, but nowhere did I see Bitcoin. Nowhere there, right? And back to using these vocab terms, public, private. What do you think is more private? I'm just going to ask you guys. Do you get to decide? Are you able to mine US dollars? Anyone could mine Bitcoin. The issuance of Bitcoin is public knowledge, right? The ledger is public. Does the dollar have those features? Just saying. And then the other component, right, which is it's basically saying this is how it works. An intermediary is necessary. It's kind of weird, man. It's kind of weird how and I think that's the signal right now, right here. They conveniently leave out, right, the new paradigm shift. It's not mentioned, right? I think that's some signal. Anyways, moving on to this one, and then I'll get your guys' thoughts. The central bank is at the center of the monetary system. Reflecting this position, central bank money tends to underpin interbank payments and serve as the backbone of the broader payment system. In addition, the Federal Reserve provides currency and reserve balances, operates payment systems, and supervises certain intermediaries that issue private money and make payments. Even as the money and payment system evolves, the central bank's role in final settlement must be preserved to promote economic growth, efficiency, and other public interests. The central bank's role in final settlement must be preserved to promote economic growth, efficiency, and other public interests. I call bullshit. Justifer, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, they're doing a phenomenal job of it right now. So, yeah, if they just continue on their path, I think decentralization is in. Yeah, the presence of all of the centrals on there was a pretty key indicator. And yeah, Bitcoin has next to no downtime. So we'll continue operating no matter what, mining blocks and processing transactions and doing all that final settlement.
Without them. Opti, what are your thoughts, brother, on that last statement?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, obviously, opt out with Bitcoin. I really like what BTC Pin said in the chat. He said, "Good, get my money's name out of your mouth." So he's just countering the meme. But I'm reminded of the Bitcoin white paper where it talks about minimizing trust. And now we have those who we're supposed to trust with our money keep telling us to trust us, bro. Come on, bro. Like, we're trustworthy citizen. We're here to protect you. Like, we are the official, Ministry of Truth, and we will tell you where the future of money goes. And hey, one second, my roommate's dog's freaking out. But and it just goes further to the point of, like, this is why we Bitcoin, is because those people that we were supposed to trust have abused our trust to such an extent that they're just no longer trustworthy. You just opt out with Bitcoin, and of course they're never going to mention Bitcoin. Like, once Nico told me the idea is like, the sauce is in the idea of them not acknowledging Bitcoin, and once you realize the fact that they are omitting Bitcoin, it shows you where their bias is. So of course they're not going to mention Bitcoin as the future of payment because it would expose the game. So it's once you understand like what's going on, it's very obvious where their biases are and why they don't compare Bitcoin in the fair light, because Bitcoin exposes their incentives, but furthermore, Bitcoin exposes the problems of the legacy system. And once you compare them back like side to side, anyone with a free mind, anyone that can think still, will realize that Bitcoin is the better system. So,
amen.
They got to hide Bitcoin.
They got to hide. Dude, they don't even mention it. They have the gall to release a paper called The Future of Money, and they don't even mention it. They mention stablecoins. Anyway, central banks, legacy financial system providers, and new entrants to financial services are creating new ways for payments to cross borders. The Federal Reserve has linked the U.S. ACH system with local settlement systems in Canada, the Eurozone, the United Kingdom, Mexico, Panama, allowing consumers and businesses to transfer funds directly from U.S. bank accounts to bank accounts in these countries. Financial technology. Bitcoin already fixes this. It does that better and cheaper, right? Look at what happened with Jack Mallers. I mean, with the Jack Mallers initially going to El Salvador, and then Nayib Bukele decided to do it with the Chivo app, and not even using Bitcoin, just using Bitcoin, the network, they're able to facilitate, through the Lightning Network, cheap remittance payments, pennies on the dollar, significantly cheaper than Western Union. So there's already a solution in place. The reason they don't mention that solution is because it disintermediates them. So this is a government that's supposed to be by the people for the people. This is clearly a government, by the government, for the government. And even if it means ignoring something that will make the lives of its citizens significantly better, they will do it with their eyes closed. And this is what we mean by Bitcoin exposes all incentives. So it goes on to say, financial technology companies are increasingly entering the cross-border payment space, particularly for peer-to-peer payments. For example, which is kind of confusing. If it's peer-to-peer, why is there a technology company involved? For example, financial technology companies are entering the remittance market, allowing consumers to fund mobile wallets online with their bank accounts, credit for debit cards, and send money directly to foreign mobile wallets. However, these providers often must rely on a correspondent bank for settlement or provide on-us settlement in which both legs of foreign exchange transaction are settled on the books of a single bank. Incumbent money transfer operators also provide similar online services. Finally, even when available, not all commercial banks offer these services on competitive terms or at all to retail consumers. In addition, the total number of active correspondent banking relations and active corridors has declined over the past decade. That's the thing. Bitcoin fixes this. This paper was longer than the Bitcoin white paper. Anyways, goes on to describe intermediaries. Intermediaries, money and payments often involve intermediaries. Intermediaries like banks and some non-banks issue private forms of money and provide access to payment services. Anyways, it goes on to say, this is what it says for recent innovations. Recent innovations in money and payments. Recent years have seen innovations in money, U.S., retail and wholesale payments, and cross-border payments. Some of these innovations build additional user functionality on top of existing payment systems, but two innovations are more fundamental and therefore may have farther-reaching implications. Instant payment systems and stablecoins. Instant payment systems are an important upgrade to the current payment system. Stablecoins aspire to be a new type of money supported by a novel payment technology. However, stablecoins present a greater number of risks related to their financial and technological characteristics compared to instant payments and other forms of money and payments, making it more difficult to predict the impact of stablecoins on the future of money and payments. Recent innovations in money and payments, and Bitcoin is not mentioned? What the fuck, man? What the fuck? And I think that's the signal right there. Anyways, so this is what I wanted to bring up today. This is the title that I made of the video. And this is, I want to take advantage of Justifer being here as well, right? So clearly the US government is taking a more hostile stance towards any currency that they can't control, whether that is stable coins, whether that is Bitcoin. They're pretending Bitcoin doesn't exist in a paper called The Future of Money, right? And at the same time, they're advertising central bank digital currencies like the end all be all. And at the same time, in other papers, they were hinting towards using regulations to go after digital assets, right? Now, one of the things that's very troubling, Justifer, right? And we criticize Ethereum tremendously because of this, right? We make the argument the majority of Ethereum nodes are run on Amazon Web Services, which makes it prone to government capture, right? All the government has to do is knock on the door of Amazon. Now, if you look at the data for the Lightning nodes, it looks like we have a similar situation, and I want to get your thoughts on that. And brother, it is a little bit troubling. So a large percentage is on Google Cloud. For our audio listeners, 27% of Lightning nodes are run on Google Cloud. 24% are run on Amazon. DigitalOcean, 7.82%. Alibaba, or hence Luna. So it just keeps on going down. Other, I'm assuming it's independent. Independent's only 15%. Justifer, does that worry you at all, man? Because it worries me. Like, if we are going to separate money from state, the state's going to pull out all the stops. And if more than 50% of Lightning nodes are run on servers that are controlled by large corporations, doesn't that make it easy to capture and censor for government agencies?
In a way, I think we could actually lose half of the Lightning Network and it would still function in much the same way. I mean, we've lost big nodes before that have gone down, and I don't think anybody noticed. Zero fee routing, when he goes down, the payments still continue to flow, and those nodes are we build in redundancy in our payment network. It's actually quite stable. Of course, like we do have to be prepared for big government action saying, you cloud providers, you can't be doing this, shut it all down. And then we'll have a system running on Raspberry Pis and hobbyists, which is like primarily like those are the people that make up the network. Right now it's hobbyists and plebs, and they make a functioning payment system that works across borders, and that is highly innovative.
I understand that, but just for according to this data from mempool, dude, more like 80% are run on servers. So how could you make the argument that it's run by plebs if it clearly it shows that it's run by people are using servers to run Lightning?
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, it's a mix. You can have them on cloud providers or be on hobbyist hardware. I mean, either way, the system works, and you would have to shut down not only Amazon but also Google Cloud and also the individual internet service providers, and that's a whole bunch of the folks are running on Tor. So, good luck finding them. The payment system will continue to work.
So let's talk about hypotheticals, right? Let's say
Yeah.
hypothetically tomorrow, whatever administration, Biden, Trump, DeSantis, whoever you think, right, is going to be in power 5 years from now. They release an executive order and they say Lightning nodes cannot be run on these servers, and the only Lightning nodes that keep going are individuals running it on Raspberry Pis, right? What would happen to the Lightning network?
It would. I mean, you may have additional hops in a payment. You may spend a little bit more in fees. It may take a different route, but overall, like a payment, the payment is source routed. So you find a path to actually make that payment possible, and that may involve opening some new channels, which means like your Bitcoin on the Lightning Network actually becomes more valuable, and you could charge a higher price for it, because now you're like the infrastructure provider of last resort. So there's market incentives for this Lightning Network continue to operate and to respond to change.
Gotcha. We got a comment from the audience. They say mempool stats only include ClearNet nodes, not Tor nodes. Comment, Justifer?
That's a great point. Yeah. So I guess that's less than half of the nodes is the statistics we're looking at are.
Gotcha. So the majority of nodes are not listed on mempool. Is that correct?
So there would just be on this pie chart statistic showing the basically what the internet service provider is. It wouldn't be showing the Tor nodes because we know more than half of the nodes are running on Tor.
Do you see a future where the majority of nodes are no longer run on servers and people start running those themselves? Why do so many people choose to run Lightning nodes on servers?
I think a lot will choose the user experience. It's very easy to spin up a node, and you want it's like highly reliable. Where like a lot of the hobbyist nodes, they'll have local have power outages, yada yada, which would stop the payment system from working there. So it's convenient to have a cloud provider whose like job it is to keep node online, even though it's a bit of like a DevOps learning experience to actually operate these nodes. So it's a huge learning opportunity. So I would encourage people to actually run home nodes, even if it's on a Raspberry Pi. You can also run it on a laptop, but yeah, give it a try.
So is that what you prefer? Is that what you'd like? You'd like to see more people running their own Lightning nodes, but you are making the argument that isn't 100% necessary?
Yeah, I mean, I could be a bit nuanced here. Yeah, like both solutions are fine. Of course, the Lightning Network needs something that is censorship resistant, but the value of that censorship resistant liquidity is fantastic. I mean, yeah, when things start to go wrong, like that behind, that will be the infrastructure of last resort, which would be a huge opportunity for those people that are in the anti-fragile infrastructure.
Gotcha. So this is not as big. It's not as big of a concern that some people voice it out. And the reason I'm asking these questions just first is I get this a lot, right? This is one of the biggest criticisms that we have of Ethereum, right? It's like, look, the majority of Ethereum nodes, it's kind of different because it is the base layer, but the majority of Ethereum nodes are run on servers, right? And I forget who posted it on Twitter, but they said, so is Lightning, so from your perspective, that's not that big of an issue because people will just find another solution. They'll just reroute.
Yeah, I mean, got close to 18,000 nodes work. So this is like highly decentralized. And I think we're overall in very good shape, very inexpensive to run a full node. Whereas that is completely a different story for Ethereum. I don't know how many actual full nodes are running on Ethereum.
Yeah, it's definitely just a handful compared to Bitcoin. But anyways, Opti, let's hit the culture, bro. Let's do this.
The Daily Culture.
Brought to you by SwanBitcoin.com. Swan is the best way to build your Bitcoin stack with automated Bitcoin savings plans and instant purchases, serving clients of any size from $10 to $10 million. We love Swan because they incentivize self-custody and dollar cost averaging. What are you waiting for? Visit SwanBitcoin.com today. I also want to give a very special shout out to Pacific Bitcoins, November 10th through the 11th, Los Angeles, California. It's a 2-day experience leading the way to a bright orange future. Speaker list includes Michael Saylor, Corey Clipson, Lynn Alden, Jeff Booth, Dylan DeClaire, Pierre Richard, Mark Moss, Guy Swan, Alex Gladstein, Parker Lewis, Dr. Jeff Ross. Opti and I are going to be doing a live show from Pacific Bitcoin. It's going to be awesome. You could take advantage of the promo code SIMPLY to get a major discount on your Pacific Bitcoin tickets.
All right, Justifer, what's up, bro? First and foremost, guys, go use Amboss. This is why we brought in Justifer, because he builds on Lightning, and there's been a lot of FUD going on Bitcoin Twitter lately in regards to Lightning and its adoption, and we've been covering articles on the show about Lightning adoption. We had one from Bitcoin Mag, the state of Lightning 1 year after El Salvador's Bitcoin adoption. We covered NIDIG's In Wolf's Clothing Lightning Accelerator project, and we haven't fully covered this, but I think we put it as one of our pleb sites, the Learn RoboSats, a simple private Lightning peer-to-peer exchange. The reason I bring all these topics up and these articles up is because as someone that's following this news, I see it a lot. Lightning is growing, and I've been using Lightning since, 2018 when we did the Lightning Trust Chain, and it's grown huge compared to what it used to be. I was trying to find this one meme of like Lightning in the past, Lightning in the future, but I couldn't find it. So I'm just going to show the Explorer, Async Explorer again, a few more different Lightning visualizers just to prove to you guys that Lightning is decentralized and it's huge. And furthermore, I know we got called out in the chat by Shift Crypto because we used the mempool.space Lightning Explorer, but I wanted to bring up this because we covered this a couple of weeks ago in regards to Lightning network capacity going at all-time high. And so there's a nice little visualizer here. But anyways, Justifer, my question to you just to start this off is, what would you say to the people out there that are saying that Lightning is a failure in terms of adoption because only a certain small percentage of people are using Lightning? And as someone that works with Lightning, I know you have some little insights on this. So we'll start with that. What is your counter to the idea that Lightning is a failure?
Well, I guess we could just take a look at some of the alternatives. And let me tell you about the wonders of the fiat system that is actually competing with Lightning. You can go to Western Union during their business hours from Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So send money across borders, depending on. So like stand in a line and bring all your fiat with you. But Lightning is working. It works quickly. You have instant settlement. It's fully peer-to-peer system. So you don't even need to update the blockchain to make an individual transaction. It's really just talk to the other person that you share a channel with. It's a very elegant system, very efficient. So I'm super bullish on Lightning actually being cheaper, faster, more decentralized. So yeah, I just have to wait until the fiat system and doing some activation to actually maintain their standing as the financial settlement rate.
I mean, I think that's what they were doing. They were announcing that competition. They were announcing the Fed Now. Are you scared of Fed Now, Justifer?
Yeah, quaking in my boots. Yeah, good luck to him. Because I just one other node and we can make it through.
Let's go. Okay, this next one, Justifer, I can't really zoom into it too much because I don't know all Nico's fancy tools, but we can see, and we mentioned it in the beginning in the numbers section, the Lightning total capacity is around 4,793, at least in public nodes. And this brings me to my next point, or rather your next point, because I know you're gonna counter this perfect. But as we know, Lightning is for small payments, hence why there may not be as much Lightning capacity in the public nodes compared to, the shitcoin narratives. Like there's more Bitcoin in wrapped shitcoins than there is on Lightning. That means that Lightning is a failure. So what would you say to people that use that as an idea that Lightning is a failure because there's only, a little under 5,000 Bitcoin in the capacity of the Lightning network, at least even public capacity? So I don't know if you want to jump into the public versus private little debate, but what would you say in regards to that, Justifer?
Yeah, I would just look at our ability to settle payments. Lightning works, quite reliably. Of course, it has like a lot of growing to do. I mean, yeah, if like 60% of like Lightning payments would fail like at this stage, but we're watching it develop, and we do have like a whole lot of like efficiency gains to actually take advantage of. But overall, let's see. So you can have like private channels in parallel with public channels, and you could even use liquidity that is outside of kind of what the public sees, what is actively gossiped all over the Lightning network. So that has like additional settlement capacity. But when you look at like this $90 million amount of capacity on the Lightning network as a whole, that's like an instant settlement number. Like that, the Lightning network itself could instantly settle $90 million. So that is like a huge number. And I don't know that anyone is actually going to be able to like settle that amount. Like, but really, you could just make an individual Bitcoin transaction if you really have that much to play with. It wouldn't be the most efficient payment, but payments can split and go through several channels, go through several nodes. Yeah, you can pay. It works.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to say Becca's tweet here for those listening. Cell phones were a failure because there was no mass adoption in 1989. It sounds to me like this is what Christopher is saying. Anyways, we did this Lightning Network easy to use a couple of weeks ago with Voltage, and during the space we were kind of saying that, you know, I'm kind of waiting for Lightning to become easier to use in the future because there is a certain amount of a learning curve to use Lightning. There is an amount of how do you say, like, interaction, manual use of your Lightning nodes and rebalancing and stuff. So are you bullish on Lightning becoming easier in the future, or is this just something that, you know, it's like using email? There's a certain protocol that we are going to have to use, and we're just going to have to get better at how to use these tools. So is it getting easier, Christopher? Do we have hope for the future of Lightning becoming easier for the average person out there?
It's gonna get much easier. Right now, it's like it involves a lot of command line tools, but like one of the main things we're working on at Amboss is just trying to make things like very attractive and also easy to use. So keep it sexy, and then example, just being able to buy and sell channels, like a huge eye opener for a lot of people. The channels are actually get created like exactly where they're needed, where there's demand for it, and people will pay for it.
Beautiful. All right, this next one, we did talk about Tor a little bit, and people were saying it in the chat, and I'm glad they brought it up. But this one's not really a FUD line. This is just more, I'm trying to get your opinion on what your thoughts are on this. And as you guys can see on the show, and for those listening, it says, Tor nodes make the network slow and unreliable, not FUD, a real problem. Sincerely, everyone was stuck HTLC. So Jasper, what would you say in regards to Tor and Lightning, and, you know, maybe the possibility of a fix of this, or is this just something that we're going to have to deal with?
There's a couple of like alternatives to Tor, but the fact that Tor has been under like a consistent DDoS attack since June is a real problem. So I would point, like, Tor needs some serious solutions, and I don't know that it will be the end all be all for Lightning nodes, where we may find some alternatives. So a lot of people are running tunnel sats now, which gives them another alternative, kind of like a design special for Lightning nodes.
So to be clear, Christopher, this is not a Lightning problem per se. This is a Tor problem.
Yeah, this is a Tor problem, and people are going to make decisions about like whether they want to run a Tor or not. But yeah, you can have a much better performing node not running on Tor.
Beautiful. All right. Well, this morning I wanted to ask people, what is the current Lightning FUD needing debunking? And this is something that I've heard this morning. So maybe you've heard of this, Christopher, or maybe this is just someone trolling on Twitter like everyone else. So what's the current Lightning FUD needing debunking? And this guy goes, I've heard that almost all the activity on Lightning is just channels rebasing, maybe it means rebalancing with each other. So it could be interpreted as fake or manipulated activity, and channel managers are getting a fee every time that money is transferred. How can one verify this? Is this something you've heard about, Christopher, or is this guy trolling me on Twitter?
Man, I love it when channels just like needlessly rebalance, because I collect a fee every single time. And you could look at the same thing for Bitcoin blockchain. If you say, well, half of these transactions aren't real, these are spam transactions. Well, did they pay the fee? Like, if so, then it's not spam. It's an actual transaction, and they're paying for it. They're paying the miners to actually process those transactions. So if they pay the fee, it's legit. Whether it be a rebalance or not, maybe people shouldn't be rebalancing so much, but they are. And if they're paying the fee, like, I don't care. That's great.
Beautiful. I'm going to ask this question that's in the chat. It's by Shift Crypto, and they go, what about LTP, Christopher?
ITP?
Oh, is it ITP or LTP? I think
You
it's
know,
I2P. I don't know.
I don't know enough to comment.
All right, yeah, we can move on. Yeah. Well, anyways, I love you, bro. I appreciate this. And just to everyone out there, man, maybe give some words of encouragement, Justifer. Should they be building on Lightning, or should they go on to shitcoin land and play stupid games?
Take your time. It's fine. Yeah, you don't need to compete with me to route payments. Yeah, there's no need opportunity in Lightning. Just give up now. Yeah, there's nothing that we're building. Yeah, please ignore. But
That's
for real,
sarcasm.
yeah,
That's sarcasm.
not hard. You can learn a lot. Yeah.
Does the bullishness on central bank digital currencies by the U.S. government? What do you have your money on, Lightning or CBDCs?
Let's put the
No comment.
CBDCs on Lightning with Taro. Throw another asset on there. And we'll use the same settlement network. It's yeah. You can add their shitcoin to Lightning. That's coming soon. So yeah, keep your build for that.
That's right. Did you hear that, Janet Yellen? Put your slave money on the Lightning Network. Anyways, Opti,
Let's get to the memes.
Let's get to the memes.
The Daily Meme Review.
Brought to you by Bitbox 2 Bitcoin Only Edition, a hardware wallet by Shift Crypto. Crypto-like cryptography. It's secure, it's open source, and it's so easy your mom can set it up. Self-custody is the revolution, and the Bitbox makes it simple. Do not leave your Bitcoin on an exchange. Order a Bitbox today. All right, guys, as you know, this is the meme review. This is your favorite part of the show. And as Nico always says, tweets are the bullets, but memes are the artillery in this information war. You guys are the frontline soldiers. Continue to meme because our memes are better because we have truth. This is the way, guys. And of course, put your meme review score in the chat while we cover these. Maybe do it on the last one, and hopefully we won't have any more delays. This first meme, this one is so dear to my heart because this is why we do what we do every day. So shouts out to D Whitman. He goes, toxic Bitcoin maxis trying to protect people from scams. And I don't even think I need the audio here, but this is the way. Hopefully you guys can see this. Yeah, you guys get this. This is what it means to be a toxic Bitcoin maximalist. Little babies do not go over the edge, and we get called toxic for it. Amazing. Good stuff, D. Whitman. This next one, again, this is for the new people out there that this is their first bear market, and we just got to continue to give you guys the wisdom of continue to stack sats. The only way you lose in the game is if you stop buying Bitcoin, if you stop saving in Bitcoin, and you sell that Bitcoin for fiat. So here we got Bitcoin Magazine go. Bear markets is when fortunes are made. And we got that James Franco meme where he's going to get hung in the news. And he goes, first time. This is why we do what we do. The next one is by Satoshi Nakamoto. And I really love this one because I'm pretty sure this happens to everyone if they really go down the rabbit hole completely. And it goes 7:10 p.m. You Google, where does the government get its money? You go down the rabbit hole for 15 minutes, 7:25 p.m. You go, where can I buy Bitcoin? Anyone that puts in some time into this and realize the game has to end up as a Bitcoiner. I am convinced of this. Like once you know the game, you do not go back. Anyway, this next one, let me restart this. Once Stoney's Ghoster, and he goes, best video I've seen to explain Ethereum abandoning proof of work. So let's jump into this. Doesn't need audio, but this is what Ethereum is doing to their blockchain. Completely wrecked. and some skeleton of a blockchain is going to continue. This next one is by the BTC therapist, and he goes, basic Bitcoin mathematics. The US dollar equals your money divided by infinity. Bitcoin equal your money divided by 21 million. Just doubling down on the meme. Everything divided by 21 million. We had Canute on last week, and it was an absolute fire vid. If you guys haven't seen that one, go watch it. He goes in an hour on this exact meme. Mm-hmm. And this next one, again, wow, I put Satoshi Nakamoto in here twice. Didn't even realize it. You're killing it, bro. And he goes, over 1.7 billion people still do not have a bank account. We got Bitcoin, the huge beast in the room. And he goes, giving every human a wallet on their phone using only 30,000 lines of code. And then we this one, Bank of America and Chase, and it goes, see, I don't even remember my bank logos anymore. This is how far down the rabbit hole I am. And he goes, building over 1 million bank locations, yet a quarter of the people do not have a bank account. This is what we're doing, guys. Bitcoin is disintermediating the bank system. So Bitcoiners stay winning, continue to spread the sound money gospel. And today, guys, I'm going to give it a different score, but you see it all the time. I'm going to give it my Harry Potter glasses, quote unquote Harry Potter glasses. This is my meme review score.
All right, so today I'm going to give it this bag. And in the bag is a hair scrunchie for Nico's crazy hair and a lens cap. Yeah. Christopher, what do you give those memes?
Wow. Well done. Right here beside me, I've got this deserves a full payment, and I'm going to be making this in a sand dollar. I brought special for you all, straight from the beaches.
Wow, very
wow.
nice. Very good. Very good.
Sand dollar is
the that's the shell. Money. That's the freaking shell. I know now. I know. Wow, what a throwback. What a throwback. Christopher, thank you for bringing that positive memory.
Okay.
Anyways, guys, rate the meme. This is Simply Bitcoin Live. So all you got to do is put the meme in the chat, and we will read it out loud. So first one we got from Andres.
Oh no, I put our boy Planet Earth on first.
Okay, giving these memes a bear market smash buy. Very good.
Let's go.
Andres says, I give it Yellow's pub. I'm not going to read that. BTC pins, I'm eating those memes just an inch.
Oof.
Paul, I give them the opposite of Tina. Savage. For anyone that doesn't know, Bitcoin Tina apparently sold all his Bitcoin. Interesting. Z-Logic. I mean, hold on a second, though. In all fairness, this is a fair criticism. I thought there was no alternative.
There is no alternative.
What?
You can create a good meme, but sometimes you can't double down on your own meme.
Yeah, I give those memes a cup of coffee. Very good. I give these memes just an inch. Just an inch. All right. Looks like that's all going once, going twice, going 3 times. All right, Opti, we have a Lightning software update. Let's check it out.
Bitcoin software release.
Brought to you by CypherSafe. Don't be that person that loses their Bitcoin seed due to fire damage, water damage, dog attacks. Back up your generational Bitcoin wealth on steel, and there's no better place to do it than the Cypher Grid by CypherSafe. And now check out their new Bitcoin art, the Bitcoin Rulux triangle, only on CypherSafe.io.
Let's go. Okay, so I guess doubling down on the Lightning theme, we have LN Bits version 0.9.2 release, adds on-chain wallet, Bolt card support, and more. So check out LN Bits. Pretty cool. Actually, really cool Lightning project out there. So guys, if you like what we're doing, go listen to us on Apple, on Spotify, on Anchor. And if you really love what we're doing over here, guys, we are on Fountain, and you can stream us some sats. We appreciate all the love, guys. Happy Monday. It's going to be a good week. We're going to put in the work all week and give you guys the sauce. I know we're going to have Nico Jones on the case all week, guys. So stay around, man. Happy Monday, and we'll see you all week. It's going to be a good one, Nico. Let's roll this one out, bro.
It's a good one. Let's roll it out. But first, I got some clarifications. We got Wags that says, to quote him, Tina did not sell his entire stack, just some. Then Taco said Tina didn't sell all, for the record. All right, thanks guys for clarifying. And we missed one. It says, Up as fragged, says, I give those memes fake Toyshi's soiled underwear from facing the truth and humiliation in court. Very, 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 very nice. All right, guys. That's our show. Before we go, I want to give a very special shout out to our awesome clothing sponsor. Opti and I wear the hoodies every single day. We don't shill this ad in the beginning because we'd like you guys to actually see it. And then, be your own judge. And then here's the decentralized one. Opti's wearing the same one, but in green. It's awesome. He makes Bitcoin merch.
Green's better.
Simply Bitcoin merch. Soon the green one is better. I gave it away, unfortunately. But take advantage of the promo code. Go to representltd.com. Use the promo code. Get 10% off. Thank you guys all for showing up. I want to give a special shout out to our awesome guest, Justifer. Thanks for coming on the show today, brother.
Thank you. Really enjoyed it. Awesome work, guys.
Where can people find you? What are you working on nowadays?
I work on amboss.space, so check it out. Check out your node's profile page, buy and sell channels on Magma, and people can follow me at Justifer_BTC.
Absolutely. All right, man. I'm going to put you backstage for a second. Thank you for joining us on Simply Bitcoin Live. All right, guys, that was our show. Before we go, I want to give a special shout out to Simply Bitcoin Unfiltered. All you got to go to is www.simplybitcoin.news. It is the written version of this show. It's pure signal. Also, check out Simply Bitcoin's Telegram group. That's where you can link us Bitcoin memes to review. You got to go to www.t.me/the Simply Bitcoin channel. Also, if you want the show to go on, you could just tune in to our Twitter Spaces. Opti's going to host it until 2 p.m. We're going to try to get Justifer in there as well. You can ask him any questions about anything we talked about on the show. You can get a chance. You have a chance to ask him directly. Right, Opti and I, we're show guys. You know, I'm a mining guy, but we're not lightning guys. So it's a good opportunity. Take advantage of that, guys. That was our show. We love you all. Thank you for tuning in. If you feel the show provided you some value, it really helps us if you smash that like button. If you really like us, hit that subscribe button. And the number one thing you could do, push the peaceful revolution, is you could share this video. Get the signal out. Orange pill your friends. Huddle. We will win this. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best.